Hey, Dr. Soden's class, I'm Dr. Raimondi, and I'm going to be talking to all of you today about social media. I graduated from SUNY in 2015, and I am currently an optometrist at New York Health and Hospital System Metropolitan. And yeah, so we're all sheltering in place right now. I do wish that I could have met all of you in person, but let's just get this started. So I remember being in Dr. Soden's class back in 2014. And I remember that one of the assignments that we had was to write down our 5-year plan or our 5-year goal sort of thing. And I wanted to share that with you today. What I wrote way back in May 2014 on that assignment was that I wanted to have a position as an optometrist in a hospital-based community center. And I hope to have participated in 3 medical mission trips abroad as an optometrist. And now we're in 2020, and can you believe it? I do have a job at a hospital, and I have participated now in 5 medical mission trips. So writing these things down and doing these exercises is so valuable because you get to look back on it and reflect. And there's so much that you're going to learn when you're out in the real world that is completely, you just don't get exposed to it enough during optometry school. And one of those things is social media. I mean, billing and coding too, that's super important, guys. Like, it's just going to always be a part of your life. But social media is always going to be a part of our life too, in many different formats. I'm sure a lot of you have social media accounts, right? What do you guys use? So, as I said, I'm Dr. Raimondi, but on social media, I'm at New York Eye Doc. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on TikTok with that handle. So I'm in all those different platforms, and I also have my own podcast. And I didn't necessarily start this because I have a practice, because I don't, right? As I said, I work at a hospital setting. But one of the main reasons why I started my social media journey was because I didn't think there was enough information out there in terms of patient education, in terms of public health. I'm sure as soon as you go out there, you're going to see, a lot of preventable blindness. And to me, that was just always like so shocking just to see that, right? Especially in a city like ours where everything is like cosmopolitan, modern, and then to still have to deal with like really advanced cataracts or like advanced diabetic retinopathy too. I just feel like both the public and other healthcare professionals don't know enough about eye health, which is why I'm so passionate about putting content out every day. Let's see. So let's get started on social media again. The platform is going to always change. We used to have Vine, dead. We used to have MySpace, that's dead. We have Facebook, nobody's really on that anymore. But what always remains is your story. And every single one of us has a unique and amazing story that we could share. And just like I shared too, I know you'll also be writing your 1-year, 5-year plans. And it's a really beautiful thing to get to look back on all of it. So yeah, in terms of looking back on that, the fact that you had an assignment to write about that is also similar to documenting in social media. Again, no matter what platform you're on, it's all really about documenting your thoughts and your feelings and, what you're going through, what your day looks like now so that you can look back on it in the future. And that's the beautiful thing. It's amazing to look back on it. And I do wish that I would have documented my optometry school journey a little bit better. That way, you can like scroll back and see things. And if you decide to have children, then future generations get to see what your thought process was like, and you get transported back to how things used to be in a sense. And it's all absolutely fascinating. And the thing is, we already all use social media, but what I think would make that social media like certainly a more successful platform, and for you to have more followers or more of an audience, so to speak, is to create content for others. A lot of us on our personal page will create content for ourselves, like, oh, this is me on my honeymoon, this is me at the Maldives on a trip, but that doesn't really do anything for anyone else. But when you create content for your audience, for others, creating value, then it doesn't matter if you're an optometrist, a dentist, or a baker, because you're putting out content. That's the most important thing. So yeah, let's get started here. What else is there? I have some notes here and I'm trying to record this in one take. I was hoping to do a live, but that's extremely difficult on Zoom. I think I was trying something with different people. But anyways, so one of the main things that you should be using social media for is, I think, public health and public education, to get more people aware about eye health and optometry, of course. And I think that's better done at a micro level. So if people get to know you and your story, that's just the best way to really bring about change, as opposed to having a large, ad somewhere that is just clearly something corporate or something like that. It's underpriced attention. So whether you are planning on opening a practice, or whether you're an employee somewhere, or whether you're just talking about your career like I usually do, it's all underpriced attention. All of these platforms, including LinkedIn, you can get so many eyes seeing your post, seeing your video, and you don't have to pay a penny for it. And think about how different that is compared to our parents' time or our grandparents' time. To get the word out about your practice, to get the word about what you do, you had to purchase a whole page spread on the newspaper or in the yellow pages. So that's the beauty about social media. It's underpriced attention, and it's a great way to just get people informed about what we do. I wasn't always so passionate about optometry. When I immediately graduated, there's all the PTSD from school, and you're just decompressing, and but you're also trying to find a job and whatnot. But what I realized after a couple of years was that this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 20, 30 years. So I have to work hard on building and developing my relationship with optometry. And since I love social media and it's so much fun for me to be on it anyways, why not channel that energy towards developing that, right? So underpriced attention. And in terms of what you're going to post all the time, you should always be seeking to add value. So you should be educating everybody, informing people on things, kind of reaching out always. Don't not the way of old Instagram is gone, with all the 20 filters on there and showing your perfect life. I think it quickly became known that that's just it's not sustainable. And if you see who the more successful YouTubers Emma Chamberlain or Daisy Keach, even all of them with their posts, even though some do have filters, the more successful posts are the ones that are raw and unedited, or where they're just expressing something really nice on the caption. So that's where you can add value. And in terms of adding value, let's say you do have a practice. So you can make a post talking about the importance of having annual eye exams. We know, but you have to give it a voice to your audience. Does your audience know why? They might not know why. So you can inform them on there. And then full stop, that's it. That's your caption. Don't be adding, call us for an appointment, book now, buy now, do this. And you want to know why? What do you do when you go on someone's account and explore around? You end up doing your own homework. If you really like the person, you click through their links, you click through their link in their bio. The audience always does their own homework. So I'll see posts all the time where it's vision therapy is important, and it has all the amazing points. And then it ends with, call us now at 212-555, right? That part should be deleted, because your audience is always going to do its own homework. So far, we have the value of social media. It's that it's underpriced attention, and that you should always be adding value to all of your posts, because this is social media. This is not just you on a megaphone. It's a conversation that you have between one another, and it's an opportunity to learn. So how do you add value? Maybe it's hard for you to find your voice. You should post daily and document. Just keep documenting what you're doing, keep posting, and you're going to see what you're comfortable with. be that written word, be that video, be that podcasting, or just pictures. You're going to find your forte, because here's the other thing. It is a lot of work, but you should try to find which of those mediums comes more easily to you, and which one, if it comes more easily to you, then it's going to be easy for you to add value to it and for you to document daily, right? So don't forget to document daily and add value to every single one of your posts that you do. And the other key thing too, so many key things that you could learn. Like, it seems like you just click something and throw on a visco filter and that's it, right? Like, no, there's so much that goes into it. Another way to think about it too is that you're not influencing, you're informing. You're adding value with every single post. And you're not acting distant. Instead, you're always finding a way to kind of reach out and talk to everyone there too. And being like open and honest and raw about things. That always gets the most views and the most likes if you pay attention next time to your favorite Instagram or favorite influencer. And it's about, social media is also about learning about everyone's journey and how you can connect with different people in different practice settings too. It's also an amazing way to network without necessarily having to leave your house, especially because we can't now. But the beauty about social media is that you're not limited to just the people that show up to your state association meeting. You can really find people who have the exact same obscure interests as you, and you can reach out. And not only reaching out, but here's the other thing that people get stuck on. They get stuck on their niche or their subject of interest in their Instagram or on their YouTube, which is great. But it's also totally okay to talk about what you're into. I'm really into working out. I have 2 cats, and I talk about them all the time. And when you talk about them, that's when you find other people like you. You find other optometrists with, again, the same obscure interests and whatnot. And then it's a talking point, and that becomes more than networking, really. It becomes a way to create friends all over the world. And that's the beautiful thing about social media, because you get underpriced attention and it can become worldwide. And that's important. A lot of times practice owners will want someone local or will want to keep things local, which is cool and important. But it's also important to just kind of spread around your things. And yeah. What questions do you have? So again, definitely feel free to DM me on Instagram at New York Eye Doc spelled out. On Twitter, on TikTok even. If you actually follow me on each of those accounts, first of all, of course, I would love that. I'm going to follow you guys back because you're in Dr. Soden's class. But that's where you can see how I pivot myself through each of the different platforms. Linked on LinkedIn, even though I might recycle one piece of content, it's going to be one way. And when I go on TikTok, it's going to be one way. And when I go on Instagram, it's going to be one way. So obviously really professional on LinkedIn, really silly and crazy on TikTok, and just fun and lighthearted on Instagram. You kind of want to match the platform that you're on. And I think too that it's great to kind of spread your wings, because we don't know how, we don't know what day is going to be the last day for that platform. We saw what happened to Vine. It just went kaput. So yeah. So don't influence, inform, always add value, and let's see what else. And it's also pretty easy to navigate. One thing that a lot of people are concerned about is HIPAA, but it's also a lot of common sense as well. Use common sense. Think before you post something that whatever you post, that might go viral. It really might. So you want to always think about, what you're saying, posting it in the best light, and kind of proofing it from the audience's perspective. Again, don't create posts for yourself. Instead, create it for your audience. And if you're, if you have good intentions, it's going to come through. And hey, the apology video is always a learning experience, and it's something that we all watch, and we're all growing. So if you think that you know everything, you don't, and that's okay too. And let's see, Facebook will mostly be used for events and groups. And this goes back to thinking about how your audience uses these platforms, but also how you use these platforms. Like when you see people doing giveaways, are you really doing that? When you see, a whole bunch of other things, think about what you're clicking on and what catches your eye. And if it's something that you would scroll past, then don't do the same thing. There isn't a strategy, there isn't a hack. It's just you really immersing yourself within the app. So Facebook, when's the last time you guys posted like a status like Damaris feels, sorry, like no, nobody really does that. You can do it if you want. But how people use it now is that they're really focused on groups, and we will see groups interests, or every now and then events too. So if that's something that you want to use for your own personal brand or for your practice, that's certainly another platform that you can get on. Facebook. Facebook is for that. Instagram, like I was saying earlier, it's more lighthearted, but it's certainly a place where you can still add value and where you can still document daily. Just post every single day, constantly experiment, see what works, and you can absolutely talk from the perspective of a business owner, talk from the perspective of an employee. And even as a student, you can say like, hey, this is crazy. We're sheltered in place right now. I don't know if we're going to have a graduation. I don't know if we're going on physical rotations. Like just speaking your daily truth is, there's a piece of content right there. Here's a piece of content for you right now. Hey guys, I am recording right now for Dr. Soden's class, and I hope you guys enjoy this following post. I'll be talking all about social media, all about the different platforms, and tiny tidbits and things that you can take away and hopefully help you on your journey. Yeah, there you go. There's a post. And if I was there in person, I would have done a post where it's like, hey guys, smile, and just take a picture, take that video. Don't judge yourself so much. As long as you're informing, as long as you're documenting daily, it just becomes easier and easier. And let's see. So that was Instagram. If I had to talk on Instagram, that would be like a whole hour on its own. I kind of wanted to give like a brief overview of everything. All right. How's my lighting? How's my lighting, guys? What do you think? Lighting is key too. You have to make it your content as digestible as possible. So also don't be taking things that you don't be taking pictures in the dark and stuff like that. Okay. So Twitter, I still don't know how to use Twitter, but I use it as a way to write down quotes so that I can make shareable content on Instagram. So that's useful in that way. TikTok is something that I've been having a lot of fun with. Who here loves TikTok? I know you're home right now, but raise that hand up high. It is addicting and it's super informative too, believe it or not. Lots of doctors are going on there talking about their specialties and educating the youth. And that's who we want. We want to educate the youth. We want to get children essentially knowing and learning about the importance of glasses and having them feel comfortable with them. We want them to know about how to care for their contact lenses, how to not just throw them in the back of their headboard, right? Like all these different things that we can do and just be creative. You can do dances. You can show patients how to remove sclerals. You can educate them on things not to do. For example, a lot of times there's makeup videos that are being applied where these young girls and young boys too are putting eyeliner right on their meibomian glands, right on their waterline. So if you make a post explaining why that isn't a good idea, if you make a TikTok video explaining why eyelash extensions aren't a good idea or whatever's going to come next too, and educate the youth on it, then that's also a piece of content right there. There's social media. And if you have your own practice, you can basically film everybody there. You can film every single frame and say the story behind it. You can even talk about your cases too, but don't have any identifiers in there. But yeah, you can talk about general things. People still don't know the difference between glaucoma and cataracts. They don't really know what macular degeneration is. So there's a never-ending list of things that we could be posting every day and adding value every day as well. So that's TikTok in a nutshell for you. Podcasting, that's something I'm super passionate about. It comes easily to me. So back to what I was saying about trying to find your like what platform works best for you. You really should try all of them, but whichever one you have the most fun with and whichever one comes most easily to you, that's the one that's really going to take you to the next level, and it's going to get you noticed, and it's going to create more networking connections, and it's just a fun thing. For me, what I love about podcasting is that I interview other optometrists on there, other healthcare providers. And like I said, I'm going to be doing optometry, God willing, for 30, 40 more years. And it can, if you allow it, if you don't work on it, it can absolutely become like boring or whatever. But if you try to find like inspiring people, or you find something that just like lights up that passion in you, and for me, interviewing other optometrists is what does that. So that's what allows me to continue doing these podcasts. And I learn about how other optometrists practice all over the country, all over the world, and I get to talk with them and hear about their stories. And then that makes me so excited for my next day of work. Like, oh my gosh, I'm ready. I'm chomping at the bit. Like, let's go get these eye exams done. So that's something beautiful about podcasting. YouTube. I am still figuring it out. Now that we're in quarantine, I'm really working hard on it. So I'm really trying my best to see where I'm at there. I am not good at YouTube at all. So everything else, I kind of like have found like my comfort zone in it. But YouTube, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of production. But if you like it and it comes easily to you, then by all means, just go for it. Quit overthinking it. It goes the same for every single platform. Just document daily and add value and you're set. So that's YouTube. Byte. Have you guys heard of Byte? That's like the new thing from Vine. I did open an account and I only posted 2 videos on it, but I tried it. You just gotta try it and see what you're getting there. Snapchat is also really cool. So I hear, but it's way too complicated for me. I haven't gotten it, but that's another way something else that you can use to talk about your work, to talk about your research project, to talk about like the conventions you're going to, or just what you're doing during the day, that as well. And back to branding, all of this social media branding, it's just another word for reputation. So all of these concepts, they're not new. It's things we have been doing for years. It's all the same in that respect. And as long as you're being authentic and documenting daily and adding value, then you're going to be successful in social media and you're going to find a voice and find your people. That's been the most amazing part about this, finding your people. And I mean, I haven't met them yet. So I was going to meet a bunch of new optometry friends at Vision Expo. Like that should have happened a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately that was canceled. But it doesn't matter. Like we're still able to talk. We've FaceTimed, we've done Instagram lives, and it's just been a really enriching experience too. So that's another thing too. Branding, it's all a fancy word for reputation, and social media just gives you another way for your reputation to live on. You know, there's the reputation where you go into class, you go into these networking events, but your reputation can also live online too. Some people can take a negative outlook on that, but I view that as positive, because once you only get so much FaceTime with people. FaceTime as in real life FaceTime. You only get so much of a word in. But if they're able to see your YouTube channel later, your podcast station later too, like then they'll be able to hear what you're all about, and yeah, that makes it more authentic that way. And it's so yes, just keep experimenting with all the different platforms, document daily in each of them. It's can be daunting. Try to like schedule out time to do it too. And this is always going to be changing, so you always actually want to kind of practice getting uncomfortable, because just like social media is changing, optometry is changing too. And with all this happening with coronavirus, we are getting pushed to the forefront of telemedicine. And if us as optometrists are able to, really guide and figure out how this works, then it's going to be done the right way, as opposed to having other, companies that are maybe greedy trying to go that route, right? So when you document and when you have just a realness to it, That's the best way that you'll be able to find people like you and unlike you, people who just like find you interesting, and then you guys can connect that way. Also, while you should follow trends, don't always do what everyone else is doing. Again, do something different. And that same principle applies to running your practice, to being an employee. Always be innovating, always be trying different things. Don't settle, don't get comfortable. And that's what's going to make this career a really enriching one as well. And apart from patients, like I said before, with patients, this is a great way to educate them on their glaucoma drops, on what they could expect in cataract surgery, on vision therapy. Any topic you can tell me right now: red eyes, Visine, dry eye, preservative-free artificial tears, Restasis, all of these things. There you go. That's already 10 different posts right there. So patient education, there's so much that you can do, but you can also reach out to other healthcare providers. I was surprised at seeing how many other MDs from other specialties don't know that children should have their very first eye exam when they're 6 months old. They don't know that there are other options apart from progressives like, iZen and whatnot. And it's up to us to educate, inform, and not influence. Inform, don't influence, document daily, add value. That's all you got to do. So the other thing with social media is that it takes a lot of discipline. It does take discipline to document daily. It does take discipline to add value and create posts and create engaging content that is serving others and not serving yourself, because we're so used to serving ourselves. It's really easy to also go down the route of showing your pets or showing your babies. Everyone loves a baby. Everyone loves seeing a newlywed couple. It's beautiful things, but it's also in a sense like a crutch, because you're creating content for yourself. So if you do want to focus on a more quote unquote professional social media, that's kind of things to avoid in a sense, unless it's like something super momentous, of course. But a lot of people like Gary Vee, if you guys heard of him, do you know what his children look like? You don't, because there's a way, and it's an art form, a way for you to be very public, but to also, keep some really special things private, which you should always do for a good balance of things. But it does take a lot of discipline to document daily, to add value, and you have to. I think what I have recently been doing with the quarantine is that I've been doing to-do lists of what content I want to create. And I kind of block time out for myself, because once you find what you love, what you're going to find yourself with is you're going to find yourself with passion for it. You're going to find energy for it, and you're going to come up with ideas all the time, constantly. I actually have a notebook on my nightstand, because what ends up happening is that sometimes at 2 a.m., I want to wake up and create something, but it's like, no, just like write it down and go right back to sleep. Because that's something I struggle with. I struggle with sleeping. I thankfully don't need that much, but I do know that I need to work on getting 9 hours a day. So it's something I share and talk about on Instagram. But that's the thing. I have to remember to block out times to create content and really, keep that structured, because it can take over your life in a certain way, but don't let it. So when I'm doing stories too, I'm pretty good at this actually. I don't just have my phone out all the time. I'll just take a picture of what I want and I'll put it away and I'll post it later. You can always post later, but just remember to live in the moment, but definitely be disciplined about doing it. Your audience, again, whether you're working on your business, whether you are working on just your own personal brand, personal reputation, they're expecting posts on a pretty regular basis, and you want to give that also. So if you post let's say in a day, let's say I attend a webinar, you can post that. Let's say I spoke to my friend who was an optometrist on FaceTime. You can quickly take a picture of that. Let's say I wanted to make a post on, recently I was thinking about representation in medicine and on underrepresented minorities. I'm not an expert in that by any means, but I absolutely made a post about it because it was something that was interesting to me, and I spoke about it. And that came from discipline. because I did want to make an Instagram post today. I did want to make a few TikToks today. And when I wrote that Instagram post about the underrepresentation, it actually created more ideas on videos that I could make. So I ended up making three small TikTok videos out of that. So repurposing things. And I just thought of it. I'm going to make that a text post on LinkedIn. The two biggest places where you have the most organic reach right now without having to pay for any ads are LinkedIn and TikTok. So definitely keep posting on those every day, something of value, something that is, I think Dr. Jen and Juice says this, where you're educating and entertaining and also engaging with people. As long as you're doing that, then you're set. And it's going to be more fun for you too. And back to that, motivation comes and goes with anything, but social media is truly like life. It's just it's like a double life in the sense that you get to live both ways. So when you find what you're passionate about talking about, it becomes easy, but you got to work hard on it every day, because if you kind of like let it go and like not work on it and not cultivate or foster it, it's not going to be successful and it's not going to be fun for you as well. So gotta have that discipline. You gotta document daily, keep experimenting, keep adding value, engage with your audience too. That's the other key takeaway I want you to take from social media. It's not just a large megaphone that you're speaking out of, it's a two-way conversation. And even though social media is silly, I have learned so much from just having like an open mind in terms of like other specialists. I interviewed an endocrinologist and obesity medicine specialist on my podcast, and I learned so much. I actually had some questions prepared, and I wanted to ask her about lifestyle changes and mistakes that she often sees patients make. But instead, she taught me about how there are many FDA-approved medications specifically for obesity, which I wasn't aware of. So just having that open mind and having the ability to say that I don't know, that's what makes social media a really enriching complement to your personal life as well. And again, as long as you have that discipline and documenting daily, that makes all of that easy. And I said this in the beginning too. Social media is for absolutely everybody in any role, whether you're a restaurateur, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're a stay-at-home mom. We all have unique stories. So when it comes to optometry, whether you're on the lecture circuit, whether you're in academia, whether you're in a hospital setting, there's a way to express your story and you're going to have an audience. We are no longer limited to just our zip code or just our local organized optometry association. We can really reach the world. I'm very lucky in that I get to speak with optometrists from Lebanon, from India, and ophthalmologists from Peru, who I end up hearing different stories, seeing how things are done. And within this state itself, it really strengthens your connection that you have with somebody who you meet in person. It's just like, it's an awesome thing. And as long as you're dedicated and disciplined to it and constantly adding value, you should be okay. And you can even go to the past and talk about your experiences. It is okay to talk about your mistakes and talking about what you can fix and what you need to improve on. We all have room to grow, and even when you graduate, that learning is constant. One thing that I could say to you guys is I made a lot of mistakes during optometry school, but one big one was that I didn't ask for help as often as I should have. And I think that's extremely valuable for you, for whoever is like feeling a little bit like unsure if they should. You have to ask for help. And here's like a 3-in-1 post that I could reuse right now, right? Like, it's so important for other people to like feel empowered and to hear your message and to hear your story, because I'm sure you've been in a situation where you would have liked guidance in. So you quickly search up something, and if you can find someone that can help you, then it makes everything that much better, and it makes for a really good experience, which is what social media is. It's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of work, but it's something that optometrists really have to get into. Because here's another little secret for you. All of the bigger corporations that are more anti-optometry, they're not really harnessing the power of social media like they can. And they don't understand the power that a micro-influencer with a small network has. And that's what we could all do. We can all talk about the importance of annual eye exams. We can all talk about why you should never use Visine. We can all talk about dry eye. We can all talk about how children need to get regular eye exams, why you need backup glasses, all these different things. And we all have our own interests, whether it's sports medicine, whether it's, again, vision therapy. We all have a voice, and we all need to express ourselves and put our stories out there to make this a much more worthwhile experience. I hope that you were able to take something out of today. Please document daily. We would all love to see it, not only your friends and family, but you never know who you're going to inspire along the way. And feel free to reach out to me in any of my social media platforms. You can direct message me on either of them. And if you want to email me with any questions at all about this, or if you want me to take a look at your content too, because special for Dr. Sodens, if you want me to just kind of like take a quick look and audit your social media accounts and see what you can improve on. And I want some constructive criticism back too, please. I want to get better. Email me at damarisray@gmail.com. So that's DAMARISRAY@gmail.com. Be safe, everyone, and I'll see you guys a little later on one of these platforms. Bye.